It's the Phoenix, Arizona weather discussion for Wednesday, the 1st of August. I'm Michael Groff. After a very active day on Monday, yesterday was quiet weather-wise across the state, but we'll see thunderstorm activity return again today with a few strong or even severe storms potentially. Let's get out there and talk about it as we look at the almanac from yesterday. 107 degrees was the high, 83 the morning low. A trace of rain in the bucket. We closed out the month of July with 0.7 of an inch, and that's about 0.35 of an inch below where we should be for the month. And outside right now, here at 5:10 a.m., we've got partly cloudy skies in the valley, and we begin this day at a toasty 92 degrees at Sky Harbor. Dew points at 68, relative humidity 46%. The winds are light, and the barometer is rising. Temperatures across south central Arizona this morning ranging from around 80 degrees in North Scottsdale to the mid-90s in the urban core. The water vapor satellite view, a rather unusual look for this first day of August with a fairly deep trough across the nation's midsection. Check out the dry air across Oklahoma and Texas depicted by the darker shades there. Yeah, that's kind of strange for this time of year. Meanwhile, high pressure, the dominant weather feature here across the southwest. Plenty of moisture and a Gulf surge took place overnight. Surge of moisture from the Gulf of California with dying thunderstorms out that way. Here's the watch warning map, and we still have our air quality alert in effect for the valley for today, as well as air quality alerts for the valleys of central and northern California, where wildfires continue. Red flag warnings in the Pacific Northwest. Flash flood watches from the Florida Panhandle through Alabama, Georgia, and points north and east from there. And there was even a tornado warning just to the southeast of St. Mark's earlier. Convective outlook for today, a slight risk of severe storms, parts of West Virginia, north and eastward through upstate New York, with a marginal risk from the Gulf Coast all the way up to the Canadian border. Several other marginal risk zones, including here in the southwest, to include not only the Phoenix metro area, but Flagstaff, the Grand Canyon, Tucson, Nogales, Douglas, Bisbee, Sierra Vista. And that is mainly due to the potential of strong, damaging straight-line winds once again today, and maybe a couple of microbursts as well. Rainfall for the next 7 days looks like anywhere from 1 to 2 inches across southeastern and east central Arizona, around 1/10 of an inch potentially here in the valley. Of course, any one spot could get more than what's displayed here. Let's get into the details of our weather, and to do that now, we'll explore the models and see where this takes us. Here we go to the GFS. This is the 06Z run, valid at 5 o'clock this afternoon. The upper look at about 18,000 feet in the atmosphere. Deep trough over the nation's midsection. High pressure here across the southwest. And with very light steering flow, that's going to make for a somewhat tricky forecast. But down at the surface, partly sunny skies. We'll tell you what we do know. Hot, humid, highs 106 to 109, and scattered thunderstorms develop over the mountains. The mystery comes in with just how close to the deserts these storms get. All of the ingredients, again, coming together for a pretty active day. Surface moisture, drier air in the mid-levels, so we have steep lapse rates. That means as you go up through the atmosphere, the air cools very quickly. So the storms that do develop could become strong, maybe severe. And as mentioned earlier, the main threat will be strong, damaging straight-line winds, a few microbursts. But with decent moisture around, some of these storms could put down some torrential rains too. Let's show you the high-resolution models. This is the 3-kilometer NAM this afternoon at 5 o'clock. Boy, it's not showing a whole lot here over south central Arizona. It's got scattered thunderstorms over the high country and to our south and east as well, but not a lot here. Now, the HRRR, the high-resolution rapid refresh at 5 o'clock, it's showing kind of the same thing. A few pop-up storms over the deserts, but overall, pretty quiet. But then by 8 p.m., it shows a few storms trying to get into the valley. So we'll go with the main window of precipitation chances today between about 5 p.m. and 11 p.m. We'll go with a 30% chance that we'll see storms in the valley tonight. Otherwise, tonight will be partly cloudy with lows mainly in the 80s and low 90s. And then tomorrow, we'll do it again. Partly sunny skies, highs 106 to 109. And it will be muggy with a slight chance of storms in the afternoon. As we get to Friday, we see a battle beginning to develop between high pressure to the east and a deepening trough off of the Pacific Northwest coast. Initially, that trough starts to flatten out our ridge. The flow aloft begins to turn out of the southwest, and we'll see drier air. Yes, lower humidities coming in here, and chances of storms will be on their way out. Now, we'll still see some widely scattered showers and storms over the eastern third of the state, but here in the valley, I think we're dry, or at least drier, Friday and Saturday. Highs 106 to 110, lows mostly in the 80s. Sunday, well, it's the summertime, so ultimately this subtropical ridge is going to win this battle, and it's going to start to reestablish itself as we head toward the end of the weekend and early next week. So highs Sunday still 106 to 110. Scattered thunderstorms develop over northwest Mexico and the eastern part of the state, but I still think our chance of rain on Sunday is pretty low. Monday, we'll see a better chance of storms coming back into the picture. Some blowing dust, maybe a little bit of rain Monday evening, potentially, at least a 20% chance of that. Tuesday, low-grade monsoon in effect, slight chance of late afternoon and evening showers and storms, highs 105 to 109. A week from today, this is Wednesday, the 8th of August, high pressure north of the state, an easterly flow. Pretty deep low there off the west coast and a nice trough over the east. That's kind of unusual, but we will have our typical monsoon forecast in effect. Same thing for Thursday, the 9th, and the end of the forecast period. This is Friday, the 10th of August. Still a monsoon-esque forecast in effect with a slight chance of late afternoon showers and storms, muggy, with highs 106 to 110. And if you've been watching our videos over the last few days, your question might be, what happened to that tropical system you were talking about late next week? Well, that's still on the board on the GFS. Actually, it's showing two tropical systems out there over the Pacific Basin, and one of which heading for southern Baja by next Friday. Pretty impressive. That's a 939 millibar low. That'd be a pretty substantial hurricane if that verifies. Let's go ahead and take a look at the old European. Same time, this is Friday, the 10th of August, and it's got the tropical system moving westward out into the open waters of the Pacific. Not any threat to land. High pressure north of the state, keeping things, about typical for this time of year. Monsoon forecast in effect and a fairly substantial inverted trough across northern Mexico. Let's take a look at the temperatures through the period coming off of the GFS ensemble. And while these temperatures are kind of toasty, this isn't anything all that out of bounds for early to middle August here in the Phoenix area. And that's going to just about do it for the Phoenix, Arizona weather discussion for today. My next video back here tomorrow morning. If you like our videos, be sure to subscribe so that whenever we post a brand new one, you'll get the notifications. Plus, of course, your comments, questions, suggestions, always encouraged. Otherwise, you guys stay safe out there, drink plenty of water, stay hydrated, and have a great Wednesday.